Imagine waking up on the third day without food and feeling a strange sensation, not hunger, but something deeper. A quiet whisper from inside your body, asking a question you've never considered. Is it feeding on itself? Is the fortress of muscle you've built over years beginning to crumble from within? The thought alone sends a shiver down your spine. For most people, the idea of fasting triggers an immediate fear. The body cannibalizing its own tissue, devouring muscle to survive. We've been conditioned to believe that missing even a single meal puts us at risk, that our bodies are fragile machines ready to consume themselves at the first sign of deprivation. But what if that fear is based on a misunderstanding? What if your body is far more intelligent than you've ever imagined? Human evolution wasn't written about the safety of 3 meals a day. Our ancestors survived through cycles of feast and famine, their bodies learning to protect what mattered most. Muscle wasn't just tissue, it was survival. It was the ability to hunt, to escape, to endure. Would evolution really design a system that destroys its own engine the moment fuel runs low? The answer is hidden in a biological hierarchy older than civilization itself. A sequence of choices your body makes without your conscious awareness. When food disappears, your system doesn't panic. It calculates. It prioritizes. It follows an ancient protocol designed to keep you alive as long as possible. Yet somewhere in that protocol lies a threshold, a point of no return where the body must make its darkest decision. The question isn't whether it happens. The question is when. How many hours? How many days? At what precise moment does your body cross the line from preservation to sacrifice? Most people guess wrong. They imagine muscle vanishing within days, their arms growing thinner, their strength fading like smoke. But the truth is far more complex, far more fascinating, and far more unsettling than simple timelines suggest. Your body holds secrets about survival that science is only beginning to decode. And those secrets begin not with muscle, but with something else entirely. The clock starts ticking the moment your last meal is digested, and what happens next might change everything you thought you knew about hunger, endurance, and the wisdom buried deep within your flesh. In the first hours without food, your body doesn't reach for muscle. It reaches for something simpler. Something closer. Stored within your liver and muscles lies a substance called glycogen, a chain of glucose molecules waiting like emergency cash tucked under a mattress. This is your body's first line of defense, the fuel it can access instantly without breaking down anything permanent. The average person stores roughly 400 grams of glycogen in their liver and another 300 to 600 grams in their muscles. It sounds like a lot, but it isn't. This reserve can power you for roughly 12 to 24 hours of normal activity before it begins to run dry. During this time, your brain continues demanding its 80 to 120 grams of glucose per day, completely unaware that the supply chain has been interrupted. Red blood cells join the chorus, requiring their own glucose because they lack the machinery to burn anything else. Yet even as these demands press on, your muscle tissue remains untouched. Why would the body destroy the very structure it might need for survival? Evolution has no patience for waste. Muscle is expensive to build, requiring protein, time, and energy. It would be biological madness to dismantle it while easier fuel sources remain. So, the body follows its hierarchy. Glycogen first. Always. The liver releases its stores steadily, maintaining blood sugar levels with quiet precision. You might feel hunger, irritability, even lightheadedness, but these are signals, not symptoms of damage. Your muscles are safe, for now. As the hours stretch toward the end of day 1 and into day 2, the glycogen reserves begin to thin. The body senses the depletion and starts preparing for the next phase. Hormones shift, insulin drops, glucagon rises, The metabolic machinery begins pivoting toward a different fuel source entirely, one that can sustain you not for hours, but for weeks. But here's what most people don't realize. Even as glycogen vanishes completely, muscle remains protected. The body has another move to make, another reserve to tap before it ever considers breaking down protein. As the final molecules of glycogen dissolve into your bloodstream, your cells prepare to unlock a fuel source that has been waiting silently beneath your skin. The transition is seamless, invisible, and absolutely remarkable. But as the hours stretch into days, the body faces a choice it was designed to make. Something extraordinary happens around day 2 or 3. With glycogen depleted, the body makes its great pivot. It turns toward fat, the energy reserve that has been waiting in silence all along. The liver begins breaking down fatty acids and transforming them into ketone bodies, molecules that can fuel the brain, heart, and muscles with remarkable efficiency. This isn't starvation. This is strategy. Within 72 hours, your body enters a state called ketosis, and everything changes. Ketones are premium fuel. They burn cleaner than glucose, produce less waste, and can sustain you far longer than most people imagine. The average person carrying 20 to 30% body fat holds enough stored energy to power their body for 30 to 60 days or more. During this phase, something remarkable occurs. Fat sacrifices itself to protect muscle. The body recognizes that muscle is the machinery of survival: hunting, walking, climbing, escaping. Fat, by contrast, exists for exactly this purpose. It was stored during times of plenty to be burned during times of need. This is the protein-sparing effect, one of evolution's most elegant solutions. As long as fat remains available, the body preferentially burns it and leaves muscle largely untouched. Studies of people fasting for 20, 30, even 40 days show minimal muscle loss during this period. The body might break down small amounts of protein to create the glucose that certain cells absolutely require, but the quantities are modest. For every pound lost during ketosis, the vast majority comes from fat, not muscle. Your strength remains. Your structure endures. This is the phase where the body reveals its true intelligence. Why would evolution design a system that destroys lean tissue while abundant energy sits stored beneath the skin? It wouldn't. Our ancestors who survived long hunts and harsh winters weren't the ones whose bodies panicked and consumed muscle immediately. They were the ones whose biology understood the hierarchy of fuel. Fat first, muscle last. This metabolic wisdom allowed humans to endure weeks without food and still possess the strength to hunt when opportunity finally arrived. For someone with adequate fat reserves, this protective phase can stretch for weeks, even months in extreme cases. The body knows how to ration, how to preserve, how to wait. But here's the truth that shadows this remarkable adaptation. Every reserve has a limit. Every store eventually runs dry. And when fat begins to vanish, when the cushion grows thin, the body must face a choice it desperately tried to avoid. The question becomes not if, but when. There comes a moment when the scales tip. When body fat drops to critically low levels, typically below 5% for men and 12 to 15% for women, the body enters territory it was designed to avoid. The cushion is gone. The reserves that protected muscle for weeks have been exhausted. Now the system faces true starvation, and this is fundamentally different from fasting. This is the threshold where survival overrides preservation, where the body must choose between maintaining muscle and keeping vital organs alive. Gluconeogenesis, the process of creating glucose from non-carbohydrate sources, has been quietly running in the background throughout the fast. But now it intensifies. The brain still demands its 70 to 100 grams of glucose daily, and certain cells cannot survive without it. With fat depleted, the body turns to the only remaining source: protein. Muscle tissue begins breaking down into amino acids, which the liver converts into the glucose that keeps the brain and vital systems functioning. This is where the line is crossed. The body doesn't attack randomly. It follows a hierarchy even in desperation. Smaller muscles are targeted first, those less critical for survival. Muscles in the arms may thin before legs, which are essential for mobility. Organs themselves begin to shrink as protein is pulled from wherever it can be spared. The heart muscle can reduce in size. The intestines atrophy. This is the body in triage mode, making brutal calculations about what can be sacrificed and what must be protected at all costs. For most people, this critical point arrives somewhere between 30 and 60 days of complete fasting, though the exact timeline depends heavily on starting body composition. Someone beginning with 30% body fat might not reach this stage for 70 or even 90 days. Someone lean, carrying only 10% body fat, could arrive here in 25 to 30 days. The signs are unmistakable. Extreme weakness settles in. Mental fog deepens into confusion. The body grows cold as metabolism slows to conserve every possible calorie. Movements become labored. The immune system falters. This is the darkest phase, where the body cannibalizes itself, not out of choice, but necessity. Stories of survival at sea, of prisoners in extreme conditions, all confirm this timeline. The human body can endure extraordinary deprivation, but it cannot defy physics. When energy runs out, something must give. But even in this darkness, the body follows rules. Ancient, unbreakable rules written in the code of survival itself. The truth is not universal. It's deeply personal. Two people fasting side by side will not reach muscle breakdown at the same moment. The timeline shifts dramatically based on factors most people never consider. Starting body composition changes everything. A person carrying 25% body fat holds weeks more protection than someone at 10%. An athlete with 8% body fat might reach the critical threshold in 25 days, while someone beginning with 30% body fat could sustain themselves for 70 days or longer before significant muscle loss begins. Activity level plays a crucial role. A body at rest conserves energy with remarkable efficiency, burning roughly 1,500 to 2,000 calories per day. But movement accelerates the timeline. Walking, working, exercising, all demand energy that must come from somewhere. The more you move during a fast, the faster you deplete reserves, and the sooner muscle becomes vulnerable. This is why survival experts advise stillness during starvation, why the body itself drives you toward rest when food disappears. What you eat before fasting matters more than most realize. Someone who consumed adequate protein in the months prior has a deeper pool of amino acids stored within tissues. This buffer provides a small cushion, delaying the moment when the body must turn to structural muscle. Conversely, someone already protein deficient enters the fast from a weakened position. Gender introduces another variable. Women's bodies are biologically designed to protect a higher percentage of essential fat, typically maintaining 12 to 15% even under stress. This offers longer protection before muscle breakdown begins. Men with lower essential fat requirements may reach the threshold sooner. Hydration and electrolytes are the forgotten variables. Dehydration accelerates muscle breakdown because water is necessary for every metabolic process. Sodium, potassium, and magnesium maintain the electrical signals that keep muscles functioning. Without them, weakness arrives faster, and the body begins breaking down tissue to reclaim these minerals. Age shifts the equation as well. Younger bodies with robust metabolisms and healthy hormone levels protect muscle more effectively. Older individuals, especially those with thyroid issues or declining growth hormone, may lose muscle more quickly. Even stress matters. Cortisol, the stress hormone, accelerates protein breakdown. Someone fasting in a calm, controlled environment fares better than someone fasting under psychological duress. The mind and body are not separate. They communicate constantly, and fear itself can hasten the very outcome you're trying to avoid. Understanding these variables isn't about testing limits. It's about respecting the machine you inhabit, recognizing that your body's breaking point is uniquely yours. So how long could you fast before your body starts eating muscle? For most people with average body composition, the answer lies somewhere between 30 and 60 days, though the exact moment depends on all the variables we've explored. But here's what matters more than the number. Fasting is not the same as starvation. One is intentional, controlled, often brief. The other is prolonged deprivation without choice or safety. Understanding the difference is everything. Our ancestors lived through cycles of abundance and scarcity. Their bodies, like yours, were built to endure days or even weeks without food, while protecting the muscle needed for survival. This ancient resilience still lives inside you. When modern people practice intermittent fasting, eating within narrow windows, or even extend their fasts to 3, 5, or 7 days under proper conditions, they're tapping into this evolutionary design. The body doesn't panic. It adapts. Muscle remains largely protected as long as fat reserves exist and the fast doesn't stretch into the danger zone. But there's a shadow side to this knowledge. In a world obsessed with control, some people push beyond wisdom into recklessness. They see these timelines as challenges to beat rather than boundaries to respect. Extended fasting without medical supervision, without adequate body fat, without understanding the warning signs, this is where the tool becomes a weapon. Your body will protect you until it can't. And once the threshold is crossed, the damage can be swift and severe. The real wisdom isn't in knowing how long you could go. It's in understanding what your body is trying to protect. Muscle isn't just tissue. It's mobility, strength, independence, life itself. Fat isn't the enemy. It's the guardian that stands between you and self-destruction. When you fast with intention, with knowledge, with respect for the hierarchy of fuel, you're working with your biology, not against it. You're allowing your body to access its ancient rhythms while keeping yourself safely away from the edge. If your body could speak after learning all this, it wouldn't brag about how long it could last. It would ask you to stop seeing survival as a competition. It would remind you that the goal isn't to find your breaking point, but to honor the system that keeps you alive. The question isn't how long you could fast. It's whether you understand what your body is trying to protect. If this journey changed how you see hunger and survival, share it. Subscribe to explore more about what your body can truly do. Because the real discovery isn't in pushing limits. It's in recognizing the wisdom that's been protecting you all along.